lunch once before, and this is funny because we had lunch and then she was in my program, and I didn't realize it was the same person for quite a while. Like, I talked to so many people. That's so dorky. Like, anyway, so I want to tell you this. Over here we have, let's see, do y'all see that? Okay, I'm going to my friend's. It's kind of like a Christmas gathering, okay, the day after Christmas, and I've been over there before, and his mom loves to, what I'm trying to tell y'all is I am bringing a salad, of course. I showed it on Instagram, and the dressing is some middle of zucchinis, celery, a little bit of wakame seaweed, apple cider vinegar, Meyer's lemon, tahini, and some dates, and a little bit of garlic. Very delicious, and a little water, a splash of apple cider vinegar. I don't know if I said that, but anyway, the thing is, you have all the components: sweet, salty, acidic, and fatty. Okay, this is what I'm talking about in my book over there, you know, or on my video called Make an Awesome Raw Vegan Dressing Every Time, where I'm going to teach you how to do it. Okay, and back in the day when I did that video, which is about maybe a year and a half ago now, I wasn't using the fabulous lucuma powder, which is something you can use because it thickens and sweetens, and it's a low glycemic index, which is great. But anyway, that dressing's very good. It's more like a dip, okay? It's very pungent because most people are not used to pouring on the whole half blender full of dressing. Y'all, these wipers are driving me nuts. They're not used to that, so you want to make it as if they're just going to serve like a couple of spoons or whatever on their salad, so that it's going to be very flavorful, so it's flavor over the top. So I have a dish about like this with the dressing, and then I have a salad of spinach, some black cream tomatoes, some zucchini noodles and squash noodles, some more dates cut up in there, red onion, celery, lots of goodies, bell pepper. Here's another thing you can do with bell pepper, which is very tasty, or red bell pepper, anything like that. You can take your Titan brand peeler, not the julienne slicer, you could do that, but the regular veggie peeler, and peel down the sides of those, and it makes very, very thin slivers, and then you take your knife and just hack it one time. And so they're really good. They're a little flavor component without being over the top too much, and sometimes peppers can just be kind of overpowering. You can also do that with onions with the julienne slicer, which is great. Another thing you can do if you're going to make a slaw or anything like that is you can watch my video that's called Wet Chop Baby, and in that video I'm showing you how to take, like, let's just say you took a pound of radishes, or you rough cut daikon radish, and if you've not seen my video called Daikon Radish Rice, that is a good sub for rice, okay? It's better than cauliflower, and it's really good. So anyway, what you do is you rough chop that, or carrots or onions or anything. You fill the Vitamix up about half full with the veggies, okay? Then you fill it the rest of the way up with water, because you want them to be very buoyant, you know what I mean? Like, you want them to be floating. So then you crank it up to high, okay? Ultra, or whatever yours is. And then you're just gonna quickly, and be mindful of this, watch this, rinse off, rinse off, rinse. What you're doing is you're throwing it to the top, slamming it down to the blades, and then you take this over a bowl, because if you do this on YouTube and it looks like you wasted that water, you're going down, okay? So you can use that on your plants, not onions, but you could use that in a soup or sauce. You don't want to waste that water. Anyway, you put a colander over the bowl, you pour it in there, and what you find is tiny, what would have taken you 20 minutes to dice this 2 pounds of blank. You see what I mean? So anyway, what I was going to say is that is really good. You can add that into a salad. It just gives it a different flavor. Another thing you can do is you can watch my video on how to eat a pound of greens, or eating 2 pounds of greens like I showed the other day. What you can do is take that greens, any kind of greens, even kale, which is very hard to digest. People don't like it. It's very, you know, it's a strong flavor and it's hard to chew also, but if you break it down really small and you add in my dressing, it becomes a decadent, savory, enveloping the leaves experience, okay? So you can take all those greens, now don't be greedy, take about ½ pound, roughly chop them, slide out the stems, okay? And then you're going to put them in there with the S blade in the bottom. I have my particular blender on my shop over on my TannyRaw.com. but it's a Hamilton beach, and the reason I like that one, it was about $30. It's called a side scraper, and that sucker's not playing. Like, everybody could get that, right? So anyway, you put that in there and you pulse it, okay? You pulse it until it all breaks down. It's another way to do your leaves. But anyway, what I was going to tell you about this, let me see what y'all are saying. Hey Cindy, hey Eric, Brittany, Jennifer, and Linda. Hey y'all, thanks for joining me. So what I was going to tell you was this. The dressing is decadent, okay? The veggies are fresh. Most of them are organic. They were washed, spun through the salad spinner. Spin it up, right? They're beautiful. They're chopped just right. They're in a fabulous bowl. I have my dressing there, like I have a little bit of poppy seeds in there. If you're taking dressing to something like this where nobody even is a big salad eater or anything, and you want them to try your dressing, or furthermore, I don't even care if people eat my dressing. Like, I just don't want them to say, oh, what is that? Like, why is it green? Or why does it have this like brownish tinge? Like if you add too much purple corn powder, which I like to use, raw purple corn powder, you can get that on the Longevity Warehouse, and it adds a very savory existence to soups and sauces and dressings. But anyway, I've got another one too called blueberry dressing, and you can find that by typing in any of these titles on my search bar on my Tanny TV, TannyRaw YouTube. So anyway, that is a good dressing right there, the blueberry dressing. It has a beautiful color. It's like a raspberry blue color, but I have a lot of those. I have like peach dressings, all these different things, but they're all good. But when you go to something where people are unfamiliar with how you eat, they don't eat like that. You don't want to make a spectacle of yourself, okay? This is not how to blend in. This is not how to bring love to you, okay? Or shed your love onto them. And you know, I was talking to my friend the other day when his mother loves to love her children with food. She loves to prepare food several times a week, and there's 3 of them. They come over and eat, and she loves to love people with her food. And even as she's gotten older, she might say like, oh, my food's not as good as it used to be, and it clearly is, but I mean, you can tell. You just don't want to go somewhere like that and be like, oh, well, I don't eat that, or they're grilling something, and oh, do you want a piece of this salmon? You know, how do you want your salmon cooked? I don't eat anything that had a face or a mother. Like, that is so rude. And then we as vegans don't understand why people are hating on vegans, because you're hating on people. You are putting a downer on their parade. What the fruit do you care what they eat? Yes, I don't want animals to die. I don't want people to kill themselves. But you know what? People have free will. And the point is this: when you love what you eat, when you love what you do, when you can go anywhere and do anything, arrive as you, be you, and leave as you with your integrity and results intact, you got the power, right? That's the power right there. So, you know, you don't want to go somewhere and take nothing and assume someone's going to accommodate you. Okay, why? Like that, like she's just going to do what she normally does. And I was like, well, will you let her know that I could bring a salad? Would that be okay? And it was fine, you know. And the last time I was there, I said, you know, I have a lot of kind of adverse effects and allergies to food, and you know, this is what I do. You know, and they asked me about what job I did, and I said, you know, I was sick for a long time, and no doctor could really help me, and I was really about to die, to tell you the truth. And I learned how to heal myself, and I've healed myself, and now I teach other people that are in that same boat how to do that, and that's what I do. I said, and I used to be a teacher, you know, and now I teach raw food. I teach plant-based nutrition. And, you know, that's very unintrusive to people. And that's what you want. Like, and when, you know, when I do that, I find that people, a lot of people, most people, the majority of people have some kind of dis-ease or some kind of ailment or some kind of, and they would love to know how to fix that. They would love to know how to get off the drugs that make them as a man where they can't have sex, hello, or makes them to where they're anxious, or makes them whatever the side effects. I was hearing something the other day, and the side effects, I was like, well, my gosh, like, you're better off with the dis-ease than the side effects. It's going to make you go blind, it's going to make you go limp, it's going to make you go anxious. What the heck, you know? But people don't know. We're a society of take a pill to fix it, a Band-Aid society. People don't know how to do. They don't understand how to incorporate anything. And people may see how I eat, and that's why I'm like, well, it depends on raw chips that you're buying. I would never want to say, you should never buy that. That's got so much salt, it's got oil. Well, dang, if you ate Doritos yesterday or every day, all day today, you drove through the drive-thru and you supersized every meal, and now you're asking me about some raw crackers or chips. That is awesome, you know? So it depends on where people are. But, you know, I have a knack for doing this now because I have been doing it for 15 years. I don't make anybody feel bad. I can blend right in. You know, somebody might say, well, do you not want a piece of this pie? Oh, I wish I could, but you know, that doesn't really set well with me, but it looks beautiful. I love how you have the meringue on top or whatever. Like, you are complimenting them, like you are showing love to wherever people are. That's a big difference in taking your soapbox on your hip. Come on, that's heavy, right? Like, so anyway, I was talking to my friend about this, and when we went over there for the first time, he was like, well, I knew that you would, you know, when I first, anyway, he knew that I would be able to blend in, because I arrive at a situation showing love. That is my main goal in life every day. How can I show love? Are y'all picking this up? Because a lot of people have a really hard time with this. And it's hard. What's hard is when you see, and I've been talking about this on YouTube some, but it's really hard when you see your family still killing themselves. Or you see, or maybe you found whatever answer it is, okay? But you're not going back to that same route I was talking about of feel, felt, found. You want to jump to, I found this. Do you see how that felt? I found the answer. But you didn't go back to, I understand how you feel, and you're listening to them. And you're feeling their life, and you're feeling them through loving eyes. I understand how you feel. I have found, and then explaining like I did. I found that this was healing for me when I was dying and couldn't raise my children and couldn't work. I found that this worked, you know? Felt, I missed that. So I felt that way too, okay? So listen, you're gonna say, you're gonna hear how they feel, and then you're gonna say, I felt the same way. You know, I remember when I had arthritis, it is really like, that's bad, isn't it? And like, you're really empathizing, not just sympathizing, you're empathizing with them on a certain level that you can truly understand. Feel, felt, found. But I have found that, and you're gonna say it in a way that's non-intrusive, you know, it's non-abrasive. I have found this works for me. And when you do that, people really do start to listen. People want to know. But you have to present it in a way that you are number one showing love. Because if people don't feel like you're showing love and they don't feel heard, they're never going to hear you, right? So when you bring your food, it doesn't matter to me what is served tonight. It doesn't matter to me if someone says, well, you don't eat such and such. That hadn't worked for me in years, and I just move on to another conversation. I love to talk about other things. I love to talk about what people are passionate about, no matter what it is. I love to hear about other people and grab onto their experiences. This brings up another point that I want to share. You know, people always showing love. You know, people live in fear. People live in fear of, they're in a fearful